Hey everyone, my name is JT, and I feel like everyone has a story about their COVID experience and what they've used to cope with it and get through it. And mine just happens to have something to do with Pokemon cards. And I feel like people in my age brackets, everyone has their Pokemon story. And I wanted to share with you guys, all of my friends and family and people that are out there that are interested, and my Pokemon story and how it's helped me cope with what's going on in today's times. And so what I have here is a part of my story, and it's my first ever sealed PSA reveal. And I want to share it with you guys so that everyone can see, and I can see for myself, what's in this box, and maybe you can have some experience to go along with it as well. So I want to start from the beginning of how I came to know Pokemon and what it means to me as a child. So I can remember my friend coming to school one day and having this huge binder full of cards, and I remember thinking, wow, what's in the plastic cases that you got there? And he opened them up, and I remember seeing all of these sparkly cards, all of these different characters that seem to do different things, and he's telling me about these games and how you can collect them and how you can battle with them and do different things. And I remember just wanting to experience that for myself. And I remember looking through all the cards that he had, and he had a bunch of duplicates, and I remember asking him, I was like, wow, I really want some of those. I wonder if my parents will buy me some. And I remember asking him on some of the duplicates, hey, can I have one of those? So that's the day that I got my very first Pokemon card. And it turns out my first card was a base set Pikachu. And wow, what a card. I remember I immediately stuck it in my pocket so that I could take it home from his birthday party to show it to my parents. And I remember that same day just begging my parents, please, can we go to Walmart and buy me some Pokemon cards? So my next Pokemon experience really started when my birthday came around and I got the Game Boy Color. And I remember going to Toys R Us and picking out this teal colored Game Boy Color. And I thought, what's going to be my first game? And I remember looking through all the aisles. And when you look at those aisles, you could just see the different games, and all of them have pictures on there on the cardboard so you can see, what they're all about. And I remember the Pokemon Red version. And the Pokemon Red version had on the cover this really awesome looking Charizard. And I thought, that's the game that I got to have. So fast forward a little bit, I get home and I'm playing this game and I absolutely love it. I'm in the Kanto region, I'm running around, Professor Oak comes out, and I get to select my first Pokemon. It was a no-brainer on which Pokemon that I wanted to start with, and it was the Charmander. So I picked the Charmander because I remember looking in that binder and looking and seeing the Charmander, the Charmeleon, and the card I always wanted, a base set Charizard card. So I played this game nonstop for hours and hours and hours. And I remember every time I got a $5 bill or my parents said that they were going to get me a toy at Walmart, they already knew what I wanted. I wanted Pokemon cards. So I was always asking, Mom, Dad, can I please get some Pokemon cards? I remember my dad would bribe me. If I would just be good in Lowe's, he would buy me a pack of Pokemon cards at Toys R Us. And I can remember at Toys R Us at the time, they had the Team Rocket cards. And I loved Rocket. I always wanted to get that Dark Charizard. And in all of my card collecting, I collected through elementary school and in middle school. And I collected the base set and then Fossil, Jungle, Rocket, Gym Challenge, Gym Heroes. But of all of those packs that I opened, not once did I ever get a Charizard. So once Yu-Gi-Oh came out, I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Then high school comes around and, well, Pokemon's not really cool anymore. So, like a lot of people, I abandoned the hobby. Gave my cards away. Who knows what happens to them, but all I know is that they're gone. So fast forward to 2016 or so. I'm married now, and I stumble across some YouTube videos of people opening vintage Pokemon cards. And I just thought, wow, I love experiencing these childhood memories. I never got these cards, but I can watch these people open these packs of things that I never got. And to me, that was just so thrilling to be able to experience those childhood memories. but I don't have to spend the money to buy those expensive vintage packs. Well, fast forward a little bit, I watched these videos for years. I started with all of the same YouTubers that probably everybody else watches today. Well, then the pandemic hits. And I remember I went through a time of depression. I had a hard time filling my time because we were sent home from work and we're told, we don't know when you're coming back. And I really struggled with that. Being a people person, I had a hard time knowing what to do with my time. I mean, I had work to do, but at the same time, what was I going to do to fill that void of the people, the interaction with people? I went through a time of depression and of just not really knowing what to do. But then I stumbled across some more YouTube videos of the pack openings, and I remember the new Pokemon set Darkness Ablaze was coming out, and lo and behold, it had a Charizard in it. And I remember thinking, whoa, wouldn't it be cool? I never got a Charizard as a kid, and now is my chance. I want to get one of those Charizards and experience what I didn't get to experience as a kid. So I can remember one day I'm taking my dad up to the hospital to have a procedure done, and I had to drop him off because due to COVID, I couldn't stay there with him. I'm about halfway back home. It's about an hour drive. And I called up my friend who used to love Pokemon with me as a kid that I was roommates with and said, hey, I'm going to go to Walmart, buy some Pokemon packs. Let's go to your house and open them up. And he was just as excited as I was. He was like, yeah, let's do it. Well, I get almost to his house and my dad calls me and says, something happened. I didn't take my medicine the right way. They can't do the procedure. Come get me. It really ruined the whole day. I mean, it was a horrible experience. My dad was yelling. I was upset. I'd spent a lot of time going to take him to the hospital and bring him back, and it just really brought me down. And I remember calling my wife and telling her just how stressed I was about it and how upset I was because I really wanted my dad to have this procedure because he needed it. Well, I got my dad dropped off back at home. I went to the Walmart and picked up the Darkness Ablaze packs. Thankfully, they had them. You know how hard it is to get product these days. I called my friend and he says, you know what? I forgot I have to study for this test over at my mom's house, so I'm not going to be able to come. So I took the packs and I pulled up in the back of this gas station and I decided, you know what? I'll just open these packs by myself. I haven't opened Pokemon cards in years and years and years. Let's just see what's in them. Now remember, I ripped open the first pack and I started slowly looking and I noticed that there was nothing in it. And out of frustration, I just kind of tossed them in the floorboard. And then I opened that second pack up and I saw a black line. And then I saw some red. And I ripped the cards off and there it was. My first ever Charizard. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I felt like I was 10 years old again. I mean, it was one of the most amazing experiences that I'd ever had. I was sitting there by myself, super sad, stressed, and the joy that came into my heart was absolutely amazing. I immediately snapped a picture, sent it to my wife, and at the time we were budgeting really hard, and I remember thinking, oh man, she's going to be upset that I wasted $20 or so, $10, however much 2 packs of cards was, on Pokemon cards. And I remember she called me and says, I'm so glad that that card brought you so much joy. I know that you always talk about Charizard and wanting one. And I just remember praying for you and praying that I knew you had so much stress and so much sadness right now, but I pray that God would bring joy into your heart. And wow, did that experience bring a lot of joy into my heart. Not only did my wife think enough to pray for me that she would, that God would put joy into my heart, but also that that prayer would be answered. And that was the beginning of my new collection of Pokemon cards. And I remember Champion's Path coming out, I was thinking, man, I gotta get those Charizards. Well, I opened a lot of packs, and I did get a Charizard, and it was a fun experience. But when Shining Fates was announced, and I saw the shiny Charizard VMAX, I knew that was the Charizard that I wanted. That was an awesome looking card. It was great, and I just absolutely had to have one. So on release day, I took the day off, and I went and just searched and searched and searched different stores trying to find the new Shining Fate set. And thankfully, I was one of the really blessed people who was able to find some product. So I immediately took the product home. My wife and I opened it, and man, did we have a great time. So now, what you guys are probably here for is to share the experience of what's in this box. So in opening Shining Fates, I pulled cards in there that I decided that I wanted to send in to get graded. And I think everybody's watched YouTube videos, and it seems like the grading process is the most confusing part. Knowing how to send them in, who to send them in, and what to do. Well, thankfully, along my Pokemon road, I've met someone who's able to share that experience with me and give me access to be able to get cards graded. And it's really been a huge blessing. So while this is not technically the first PSA card that I've ever gotten, it is the first card that's sealed in the box that I get to reveal, that my wife and I pulled together. And it was such a great experience, and I want you guys to share the experience of what this card is. Now, I've heard these PSA boxes are really hard to open, so I hope that you'll forgive me, but I'm going to try to use my friend's advice and cut this thing open without hurting anyone or myself. So without further ado, let's cut this box open and see what's in it. If you haven't seen the packaging of a PSA box before, I must say that they do an absolute fantastic job. And so now, this is our first PSA 10 Charizard VMAX that we pulled out of the Shining Fate set. And I have to say, this was a really awesome, amazing experience in pulling this card and going through the grading process and getting it graded. And I will share some of the details with you of how I got it graded. I did send this on the 2-day Super Express, which everyone knows that the PSA prices have recently changed, but this was on the 2-day turnaround time, and even though it's technically 2 business days, it really took me about a month to get it back. When you calculate I overnight shipped it to PSA, it took them a couple of weeks to get it in the system, maybe a week or so to actually grade the card, and then another 5 days for the priority mail for them to send the card back. But I will say, as far as Charizards go, this is an absolute beautiful card. It's an amazing card, and it really means a lot to me for my Pokemon experience, because not only have I got to experience opening my first Charizard, but now I get to open my first, sealed PSA Charizard that gets a PSA 10. And I'm really glad that I get to experience this with you guys, and you guys can hear part of my story. And I hope that Pokemon has done something for you during these hard times, because it's brought a lot of joy into my life. It's beyond the monetary that you see a lot of people talking about today, but it's a part of that experience, the feeling that you get whenever you pull that card that you've longed for so long. Pokemon is more than just about, what's this worth as a PSA 10, but it's about the experience that it brings to you. And so I'm glad that I could share that experience with you, and you can share the experience with me. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and taking a look, and I do hope that you have a blessed day. Thank you.